Hi students, Mrs. Cadill here. We're just going to review some of the things that we've learned the past few weeks in writing. So to start, right here on my screen, this is my sentence frame. And our sentence frame starts with a capital and it ends with a stop sign or a period. It's up to you which one you want to call it. Moving on to our next page, we are going to first review what it looks like to put a sentence back together, and we are going to identify the subject in our sentence. So first, I have my sentence frame. Then I look at my words. I have dog, the, and ran. Dog, the, ran doesn't make sense to me in a sentence. But if I do the dog, ran. Oh, there's my period. I know where he goes. So I have the dog ran. That is a great sentence. Now, there are some things that are missing in my sentence that I haven't done yet. One really important thing is that I don't have a capital letter to start the beginning of my sentence. So I'm going to look at that and I'm going to do it in purple today. So I'm going to make sure that this is my capital letter. So I'm going to turn my lowercase t into a capital. Then I'm going to, using my blue pen, I'm going to underline the subject. So remember, the subject is what your sentence is about. My sentence isn't about ran. My sentence isn't about the word the. My sentence is about the word dog. And we know that we have 3 different categories that we can categorize a subject. So we have a person. Let's go, Mr. Person. A place. Or a thing. Now remember, our thing has 2 symbols, and we classify those in living and non-living. So if it is a baseball, if my circle will draw, let's try this one. So if it is a baseball, that means that it's a non-living thing. But if it's our animal or our cat, that means that it is a living thing. So we would look at dog as being a thing, and more specifically, a living thing. On this page in your activity, when you're done watching the video, you are going to practice sorting words and pictures into whether it is a person, a place, or a thing. If you're unsure, ask your teacher for help. The next thing we're going to talk about is reviewing our connector symbol. So remember, when a thought names 2 subjects, connect them with a connector. 2 subjects joined by a connector equal a compound subject. So remember, this is what my connector symbol looks like. So if we were to look at our picture right here, this is of myself and then Stuart, the crustacean. And let's look at our sentence. Mrs. Cadill and Stuart are proud of you. So we know that our subjects are Mrs. Cadill, come on, pen, Mrs. Cadill, and Stuart. So we would make sure that we use our connector symbol above the word and, making Mrs. Cadill and Stuart a compound subject. The next thing we're going to review is our series subject and using a comma. Remember, a series subject is when you have 3 or more subjects in your sentence, and you need to make sure that you use a comma. So let's practice. Right here, we have a picture of Mrs. Cadill, Mr. Cadill, and Mrs. Anello. This is our sentence. Mrs. Cadill, Mr. Cadill, and Mrs. Anello are awesome. Now, because there are 3 or more subjects in our sentence, we need to use commas. So remember, our subjects are Mrs. Cadill, Mr. Cadill, and Mrs. Anello. So our commas would come after Mrs. Cadill and Mr. Cadill. And because we also are using a connector symbol because we have the word and in our sentence. So we could say Mrs. Cadill, Mr. Cadill, and Mrs. Anello are awesome. The last activity in this review is to go through on your computer and on this page, using the tools right here, you need to underline the subject, draw the connecting symbol under the connector word, and place commas after the subject words as needed. I will let you know that 2 sentences do not need commas. 2 sentences do not need commas. Happy learning.